Hi there, this is the sewing machine store. Now we're going to show you how to put together our new high-powered industrial servo motor. This is a 550 watt motor, and believe me, this is more powerful than one of these big motors here. The motors are smaller, more powerful now. Also, let's point out over here. Over here is like a big industrial clutch motor. I don't know if you can see that on the camera there. The motors we have are more powerful than these big clutch motors. But anyways, back to the assembly process here. Okay, when you get these, pretty easy assembly. You'll open up the box. You'll have this washer that looks like this. Goes on there, no problem. Then you'll slide this in like that. No problem. Then you'll have a lock nut washer that goes like that, and then the lock nut washer will be tightened like this. And for the video purpose, I'm just hand tightening everything there. You'll have a digital display. I'll show you how all that works on one I already have preset. So right now the motor is basically assembled. On the side here, you've got another little piece here where this will plug in onto the side. So how you get that in, just push this back a little bit like that. Push that in, and then put the cover back in like that. So the motor is almost all assembled here. Now before you slide this onto the table, you have rubber bushings. There'll be a little picture in there, but you'll have rubber bushings that go all along the machine like this. Don't forget these rubber bushings. So after all the bushings are put in, and there's a little tab right here that shows you the position of the bushings. So you just follow the little tab there. Shows the bushings here, and let's see here. And I'm missing one right here on this side. So we got a bushing that's going to go right here. Okay, presto, the motor is completely assembled and ready to go. These are the screws that hold the motor in. If you want to get any of the wires out of the way or anything, naturally it comes with little extra wires here. And this here is your on and off switch. It'll come with the little screws to mount your on and off switch here. Now that the motor is assembled, let me show you one that's already put into the table here. Okay, cameraman, let's take a look down here. Okay, this is the motor that's already installed into the table here. If you need to go at higher speeds, you press high and low. And this here is the cursor here. So you always want the cursor going this way. This is counterclockwise here, because this means the motor will turn like this. You always want the motors to turn this way. If any reason the cursor is turning the other way, the motor will go in reverse. You don't want that. Unless you have like certain overlock machines, you may need that purpose. But to change the rotation of the motor, there's little directions on the side there, but you just press the plus section for a minute, and then the cursor will go the other way and the motor will go in reverse. But for almost all industrial sewing machines, you want the cursor going this way. So this is plus and minus like this. Now I'm going to set this is a big industrial sewing machine. This unit will go up to about 45. I'm only going to set it on 10, because if you go full power on one of these motors, they have so much power the machine will fly off the table. Now notice how I kind of pushed this off to the side here, this first pedal. I did that because your second pedal will go down here. So when your second pedal goes in, you'll have in the back of the machine here, there's where you will put your chain, and the chain will come down. And a lot of times on these tables, the holes don't line up, perfect. So don't be afraid to drill. If it doesn't line up 100% where the chain goes in, just drill it out a little bit. But your chain will go down here and then go to that second pedal. If for some reason you don't want to put the second pedal in, you don't need to put the second pedal in. This guy here, from on top here, if you want to lift high and low, you can lift it from the bar in the back. If you don't want to put the second pedal, you don't have to. And let's see here, one other thing down here. Notice on this first pedal here, everybody asks about this. Now this bar will be in your package there. It'll probably be in with the table. This bar is just an extension that you can put on. Some people use them, some people don't use them. You will always be with leftover parts. Do not be afraid when you're in leftover parts. I always got telling me I got leftover parts. A lot of this stuff you don't need. Some people use this, some people don't. I use it because it helps get the pedal out of the way so you can put the second pedal in, but it would be this little piece here. You'll get these that'll come into the box. We have a full YouTube instruction on the installation of the machine. Now, I only have this set on 10. Now I want to show you something. Here I am, I'm putting some pretty big thick leather here. Now always start the needle into the fabric first, or leather, or whatever you're sewing. Now this is only on 10. Look how fast this machine is going, and it's on 10. And now you can go nice and slow, because this is a servo motor, so you can control the speed here. This is about as slow as you're going to get. If I press on it down, that's pretty fast. If I put this machine on like 45, the highest setting, this machine is a 100-pound machine. This machine will fly off the table. Do not put your machine, you're not going to use more than 10 or 15. So do not let the size of these motors fool you. These are servo motors. This is a smart servo motor. So for example, if you do something or you break a needle, if you ever break a needle or this motor can't be damaged. If you break a needle or do something too heavy, you'll get an error message. Just to reset the error message, you turn the motor on and off. Most servo motors, if you do something too heavy or break a needle on most servo motors, a lot of times they just don't turn on no more. You have damage. But this is a motor that has a built-in motor protection system. So if you do something too freaky or do something too heavy, it'll do an E3 error message. You just press reset and you're back on. But don't forget to put these on the machine there. You need these bushings on the machine. I made this instructional video because naturally most videos that the Chinese put out don't put instructions on. Now to lock this in place, after this is installed on the table, put the tension snug. Now this belt here, I don't have super snug, but I have it where it's not slipping. You notice I did that leather, so just where it goes in, maybe about 1/4 of an inch. If you don't do it tight enough, it will be a little bit too loose there. So you don't want it too loose where the belt slips. But how you do that is underneath the table, after you get the belt all on there, push this back until it's snug. Hold it firmly while it's nice and snug. You tighten this bolt. And once that bolt is tightened, presto, you saw how thick a material this will go through here. So remember, this is only on like 10. So if you ever buy one of these 550 watt Morse servo motors from me, if it can operate one of these machines, trust me, it'll operate any machine. That's it.